Oh, we start with a whale rescue that went on for more than 800 miles. Look at this. This endangered whale, whose nickname is Argo, was first spotted off the coast of North Carolina, dragging fishing gear, rope, lobster pots with him. Rescue crews chased him for days. They finally caught up with him, and they freed him of that dangerous load. What a mission!
Yeah, that's fantastic, because that's a right whale, and they are critically endangered. Only a few hundred of them left on the planet. So that is fantastic that they were able to do that for him.
Oh my gosh.
That makes me feel so great today.
Yeah, you wonder if that was all painful for that poor guy.
Well, I'm just glad they got him safe.
Thank goodness they took care of him. Oh, this is a happy way to start our Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being here on Afternoon Focus. I'm Julie Grant.
And I'm Scott Withers, sitting in for my friend Rob Nelson. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, this I like to call Friday Eve.
Yeah, that's a good name for Thursday for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's begin, as always, with our stories from the top of our feed.
And we don't typically get into politics ever on this show, but we found an issue that we can all rally behind, and more importantly, a clear voice offering a fresh perspective.
Hey, I'm Brody, and this is for the government, and I'm protesting, and I want 3 days off of school. I need time to just play and go with Nene and stay home and do whatever I want outside.
I love it, Brody. Brody's mom posted that clip to Instagram where he asked if she had sent the clip then to the government and if we all now have those 3-day weekends he's proposing.
Where do I make a campaign contribution to him? Because I'm all in for that, right?
Yes, Brody for president.
Absolutely.
You go ahead, little man.
That is bipartisan agreement across the board on that. Good for him.
Yes.
And we all will support him. Hopefully they get his video.
I know. Let's hope it makes it into some hands who can make some changes happen. If not, Brody, when you grow up,
keep it up, Brody,
little guy, there's a job for you.
I'll vote for him.
Yes, our country's legislature.
All right, well, this next story blew our minds, literally.
Yeah, 700 pounds of acorns were found stuffed inside the wall of a California home. Look at this. The couple who owns the home had found little mealworms in a bedroom wall. So they called their pest control guy. He came out, he started drilling, and voila, the pest guy says it was all the work of a woodpecker, or maybe two, for at least 2 years.
They were hoarding all of that. 700 pounds of acorns in those walls. Those little birds have been stuffing them in there for years, and
That's
now
hilarious.
Now they got to start all over.
Right? Yeah. I mean, those were some busy woodpeckers, I tell you what.
I can't even imagine, just they come pouring out of the wall like that going, what is going on in my house?
If they have kids in the home, the kids probably loved that.
I'm sure.
They think it's magic, acorns pouring out of the wall.
And what do you do with 700 pounds of acorns? Where do you put those things?
No.
I don't know. Well, I'm glad it wasn't my wall, that's for sure.
Back to the animals. Well, everybody, it is that time in our show where we ask you to get your popcorn ready because we want to bring you a few quick stories that are just fun to know. And we start today by celebrating the birthday of a beloved actor whose range as an acting professional is both scary and really funny.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
He does amuse me. That, of course, is the great Joe Pesci. The Oscar winner turns 80 years young today. I was surprised by that. It's fun to know that Pesci was friends with the great Frankie Valli, and he introduced him to the singer-songwriter Bob Godot, and thus started the Four Seasons. I had no idea.
Yes. If you see the musical, the Jersey Boys musical, if you've seen it, they tell the story. And that was one thing. I didn't know that till I saw Jersey Boys.
Wow.
And they talk about how a young Joe Pesci was like a young kid in the neighborhood, really funny.
No idea.
And he gets, Bob Gaudio, who was largely like behind a lot of the creativity in the group, very much the heart and soul of the group, even though Frankie Valli, of course, is the face and the voice.
Everybody. Yeah.
Right, and got them all together, and music magic was made.
Well, he is multi-talented. Thank you, Joe Pesci. Speaking of music icons, on this date in 1964, the great Ed Sullivan uttered 5 words that changed music history.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
And get this, you guys, it's fun to know the show booker was not interested in having the Fab Four on the show, since most British acts at the time didn't have much commercial success in America. That changed, as we know.
Right.
But when Ed Sullivan saw a giant crowd all gathered waiting for the Beatles to perform at a London airport, he got curious. We're glad about that. He started the ball rolling. The Beatles then sold 2.5 million records in the U.S. in just the month after their appearance on the show.
Huge
Wow.
Beatle fan right here.
Oh, me too.
Huge.
Yeah.
For November,
Okay.
for my birthday, I
Yeah.
went to Liverpool.
Did
Backpacked
you?
through Liverpool. I went to Strawberry Fields. I went to Penny Lane. I went to Paul McCarthy's Boyhood Home.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I saw the Magical Mystery Bus.
Oh, how
Unit. It was
fun.
fantastic. One of the best trips of my life.
Scott, how
See
fun.
where all of that music, great music, came from. It was fantastic.
I know it's hard to pick. Do you have a favorite Beatle?
Oh, I would go with Paul. I love Paul. Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong. That's
No.
like a multiple choice question. where it's
Exactly.
Like all
All
of
the
the
answers
above.
are correct.
They're all incredible. Oh my gosh. Well, we finished today with our favorite topic on this show, food, and the celebration of National Pizza Day today. It is fun to know that the first pizzeria to open up in the United States is widely thought to be Lombardi's. If you've ever been to New York City's Little Italy, it is there. And the folks credited with bringing the perfect pie to America are Giovanni and Gennaro Bruno, who came here from Naples, Italy in 1903. And did you know that the average American eats 46 slices of pizza per year? Scott, I have to tell you, I did some math on my phone calculator while I was reviewing our show for today, and I think that number is low. I eat
that's
far
low.
more than that.
I've had 2 pieces today.
Yes.
And there's no way I'm making it the rest of the year
Absolutely.
on 44 pizzas.
I mean, I think I eat at least 3 or 4 slices a week.
Yeah, of course. I
So
think that
it's
number's
way
there.
more than
We're
46
just,
a year.
We're just not normal.
Yeah. I think pizza should be part of everybody's diet,
It
don't you?
should. Well, pizza will no doubt be in huge demand this weekend for Super Bowl watch parties. But if football isn't your thing and you're looking for a little nostalgia.
Are you ready to go back to Titanic?
The blockbuster hit makes its return to the big screen this weekend in celebration of the film's 25th anniversary. Director James Cameron reflected on how he and the team members were feeling right before the film was released.
We didn't think it was going to make any money. Honestly, we went into it and we just thought, okay, well, we've gone from we'll never work again to we'll probably get to work again as long as we don't ever do another movie like Titanic.
The film has made more than $2 billion, and I would watch it over and over and over again.
Yes. I mean, it's a classic, and it's
It
so
sure
funny how
is.
they felt that way about it beforehand. We hear that often, don't we, with movies, that don't know if this is going to be a hit, and then, wow,
That one
it
right
sure
there.
becomes one. And
Yeah, it sure did. Well, very excited. I'm not going to skip the game for it, but I'll watch it
Yeah,
again. 'Cause it'll be
exactly.
on
After the
again.
game, after the Super Bowl,
Exactly.
you can watch some Titanic. Well, we're going to squeeze in a quick break. Fly, Eagles, fly, right, Scott? We don't want you to miss what's coming up next, so stay where you are. The patriotic and heartwarming story we're going to show you behind this viral video.
Bye, Dad. Love you. If we really like your haircut.
I had to stop in the middle of the soccer field because I just was rain in tears. So I kind of stood there for like 5 minutes afterwards.
Check out this stunning view of Capitol Reef National Park in Utah. Now, the Capitol refers to the white domed formations in the park that resemble the dome of the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Absolutely spectacular.
Pretty. Oh, gorgeous shot right there.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. We all know kids can be really creative.
Oh, yeah. And we want to show you the story of some kids finding a new way to talk to their deployed dad through their home security cameras. Now, this video has gone viral. Diane Derby is sharing this touching story from Colorado.
Their comments capturing the heart of this community and the world. A video their mom, Christy, posted showing those moments has gone viral.
It's too adorable not to share, so I put it together and it just went wild.
On Instagram, it's had more than 7.5 million views. On TikTok, more than 1.5 million plays.
I think it was just so heartwarming to see and real and raw.
Dorn does not shy away from how real and raw the pain of separation really is. This deployment, her husband's fourth, their third as a family with 2 little girls.
I'm not gonna lie, this one's been really hard. You don't realize how lonely it is until your best friend's gone, you know? And you're here holding down the fort for your entire family. Like, it's lonely.
FGYV.
Dorn doing the job of 2 until her husband comes home.
Bath and books and, schoolwork and sports and running here, running there, making sure they're fed, making sure they're happy, making sure they're loved, It's a full-time job.
So this is your Army log?
Yes. So this is Daddy's time and this is our time.
And helping her children cope, another task too.
We got them daddy dolls from Hug a Hero, and they just love and hug those dolls wherever they go. They usually go to school with them too, sometimes because they have a military counselor at school that meets with them once a week.
And what the idea was about this.
That counselor also suggesting they make paper hands to give them hugs when they need it most.
So my dad put his hands on paper. Yeah.
His daughter's hands with him on deployment too.
I take them everywhere. So yeah, they usually sit next to my bed every night, and it is kind of a cool thing to have because it is their length of their hug. And
Army Sergeant First Class and Senior Medic Advisor Jordan Dorn talked to us from Germany about the first time he saw the video his wife made.
So I was actually walking back from the gym in Poland at the base we were at, and I had to stop in the middle of the soccer field because I just was raining tears. So I kind of stood there for 5 minutes afterwards.
He says the outpouring of support from people who love it as much as he does has helped ease the pain of deployment.
It's very comforting for me because I think it's a comfort aspect for Christy, and it kind of helps her cope with me being gone.
All while reminding them that their service to country does not go unnoticed.
I think a lot of people are thankful for the sacrifices that not only my husband has to make, but my kids too.
And you.
Thank you.
Oh, that mother put it into perspective so well, didn't she? That it's not just the military hero that's making the sacrifice, the one that we know is oh so noble, that we admire so much and we're so grateful for, but it affects the whole family. The whole family is sacrificing.
2 little girls, they're doing much better than I would ever do. And you know what? It's great to see that technology has made it easier for our military families because now they can see Dad on the security camera and he can interact with them. There's no way, 30 years ago, our military families didn't have that. So that little bit of technology really has helped. It's a very creative way to do that.
I mean, think about it. How many of you watching this show had a grandparent serve?
Oh, yeah.
And think about how their loved ones had to wait for weeks to get a letter.
Yeah.
Where this is instant. To your point, Scott, about technology, they're so fortunate to have that. And even though it's a situation that, as she said, is lonely and upsetting, boy, is that great that they can see each other and still feel connected.
It's obviously not the same as being there with your family and your husband and your dad, but it makes it a little bit easier. And to them, we can never say enough to thank all of our service, members of our armed services.
Yes,
and their families.
We love you. We're so grateful for you and your families.
Absolutely.
Yes, Scott. Oh my goodness. Well, while Scott and I get some Kleenex, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to a female fisherman who's spearheading sustainable efforts and reaping rewards of being in a class of her own. Thanks so much for being with us. So if you enjoy a good salmon or shellfish, odds are a lot of effort went into catching your dinner. The commercial fishing industry is grueling work, if you think about it, with very long hours.
And like many jobs involving manual labor, it's a space mostly dominated by men. Now, this next woman you're about to meet isn't letting gender stop her, though, from being a leading example of how to stand out in the best way possible.
I prefer the soul connection to Mother Nature and learning about what she provides naturally. and finding the beautiful shellfish that she's already created out here in the wild.
This is the marsh in Wilmington, North Carolina.
All right, I'm Anna Shellum. I own Shellum Seafood Company. They have to be beautiful, always. I harvest clams, oysters, mussels, and stone crabs.
For Anna Shellum, this is home.
I admire people that are farming, but I do not have an interest for myself in farming because that one's real pretty. I would lose the connection with Mother Nature.
Shellum, primarily dedicated to shellfish, is out here every week filling orders for small local restaurants.
So it's safe for deliveries.
And Shellum Seafood Company is a one-woman fishery.
Women nowadays are much stronger than they ever have been. There's a beautiful side of femininity that I have never been able to conquer. It's been like one of my goals to be more feminine. And in this male-dominated work,
Femininity doesn't have one definition.
no, definitely not. Being a female in this industry is challenging, but it's more rewarding than it is challenging.
The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration says women play a vital but undervalued role in commercial fishing. Studies show that women make up only about 9% of commercial fishermen in the U.S. as of 2021, though the numbers are higher around the world.
They're often along these beautiful edges. This guy's going to be pretty in like 2 years.
Looking at the global industry, Canadian researchers found women appear to be more mindful of resources when harvesting.
That's a pretty one too.
And are less likely to overfish.
Quality control testing, right?
Shellum is leading by example and focusing on sustainability, only harvesting what she needs, and even farming in the wild to allow the shellfish to grow.
The texture's great. The salinity is not there from the rain we had. You just have to learn that, like that's what you're dealing with today. You can't get what you want. And so you tell the chefs, like, Mother Nature is just not giving that to you. And it's a better way to live. It's like how we should be eating everything. But I like to farm. I call this farming. So I'll break them off of these larger clusters. That's going to be a beautiful oyster one day. So is this guy. I don't hide anything. I literally put everything out there, and I feel like that's the best way to provide food to people. Because if you're not honest to begin with, you do any kind of shady practice, it's going to taint your reputation or your accountability.
Anna hopes to inspire more women like her along the country's coastal regions in order to help sustain the environment that provides for her and so many others who rely on fishermen.
That was amazing. Good for her starting her own business in that industry just dominated by men. Only 9% of women out there doing what she's doing around the world. So, and I heard you when she tried that one raw out in the field.
Full disclosure. I went, oh, I did just like that. Oh, because I didn't
shocking.
expect that. Yeah, but I guess, I don't know anything about the fishing industry. So I suppose that's what she has to do. Taste them, make sure she's on to the right product will be served at restaurants and in stores for customers to buy. Yeah. Did that surprise you?
It shocked me too. I was like, I'm going to pass on testing the oysters out in the field.
Your reaction was more tempered than mine. Oh.
Well, don't go anywhere. There's more great stories coming up right here.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out how every day is Groundhog's Day, my favorite day, right there in that backyard. Look at him.
Look at him.
Welcome back. So what you're looking at right there, his name is Chunk. He is the world famous groundhog from Delaware.
Love how you say his name, Scott. Chunk became a viral sensation after he was captured having no shame, snacking on any crops that he could get his hands on.
Oh my God.
Oh, Chunk, we love you.
Absolutely no shame in that man's game right there. Good for you, Chunk. Dive on.
Tomato
It is.
Eating.
All right, well, that's our show for today.
Thank you so much for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow, same time, same couch.
Bye.